This episode is brought to you by the first ever Toyota Corolla Cross. Sometimes everything just clicks. Like when your favorite song comes on at just the right time. When there's 2 tickets left for the show. When everyone in the crew can agree on what album to listen to. When everything just feels right. That's the feeling of the first ever Toyota Corolla Cross. Available with all-wheel drive, Qi wireless charging, and advanced JBL sound system. It's everything you need. Nothing more, nothing less. Learn more at toyota.com.
Empire.
Hello and welcome to my podcast. Do me a favor and subscribe to the John Kahn Report wherever you get your podcasts, and you can subscribe to us on YouTube at Empire Media. That's AMPIRE. It would be much appreciated as always. Today, I'm joined by former Washington tight end Rick Doc Walker as we discuss a prove-it season for Washington. What's on Doc's mind? Well, he gets riled up and has grown tired of perceived improvements. Show me, he says, for a change, show me. You can follow Doc on Twitter at Rick Doc Walker, and you can listen to his podcast, aptly named The Doc Walker Podcast. And I'm going to be joining Doc on his podcast early this week. Doc and I taped this before the USA Today article about owner Dan Snyder came out Saturday night, basically pointing to mounting frustration and how some might be ready to take a vote on him. Not surprised by this. I think some of this definitely has been reported in other places previously. I said some, not. I think Jared did a nice job talking to several owners. That's not to knock the report at all. I think Jared did a good job talking to, again, other owners, laying out frustrations. He's a seasoned, respected reporter. My job here, though, is to analyze what does this mean? Is there a vote scheduled? And what I know, I should say, not just analyze what it means, but what I know. Is there a vote scheduled? Not that I've heard. Are there 24 other owners or 24 owners willing to vote him out? Not that I've heard. Is there frustration? Yep. Do other owners like him? Not many. That was true 2 years ago before any of this even started. People inside the organization will tell you the same, inside this organization will tell you the same thing about what other owners think of him. Look around the NFL. If you're going to vote Snyder out, then you better be clean because he's going to fight to the better end. They know that. And I mean, the NFL certainly knows that. He has to have done something so egregious that even those with skeletons in their closet will say that's enough. Now, I don't want to assume that every other owner has those skeletons, but I think we all know that certainly more than a few would. And you need to have 24 owners who are willing to vote him out. It has to override what others might also be doing. And that just, something that hasn't possibly been written about, whether or not I think we still need to see where these investigations go, whether by Mary Jo White, about Tiffany Johnson's allegation, or the one that went to the Virginia Attorney General's office and that was sent to the FTC about the financial allegations which the team strongly denied. So we have to see where those go. And I'm pretty sure Snyder's side is quite confident in where it's headed. If it goes against what they think, yeah, there will be and could be trouble for him. Of course, other owners are frustrated and, again, have been for a while. But voting out one of your own, even if he's not someone who mingles with the others, is still a rather big step at this point. I can tell you Dan Snyder isn't going to sell the team anytime soon of his own volition, so don't feel like they're going to pressure him into doing that. I don't sense that at all. Whether you like him or not, or agree with his take or not, my sense has always been he or people around him don't think that certain allegations are correct or maybe could be proven. I don't know. Therefore, why would he bow to them and sell? People who have talked to him say he's not about to sell. So I think you can take that off the table for now. And again, that's where we are. It's pretty much where we've been for a few months, to be honest. I think there's still, as I've always told you, there's still more to learn. I'm not taking the hot take approach with this. I'm trying to take out or just go by what do you know? And that's it. What do you know for sure? And what we know for sure is that there's no vote being taken right now, and that you can't say that 24 owners are willing to vote him out right now. Not that the article said that, but I'm just telling you that's what it's going to take to get him out. With that, let's return to the football field. Washington has OTA sessions this week, with Tuesdays practice open to the media. One note, I will not be there because I have to go to Bristol for an NFL Nation summit. I'm going to be up there for a few days, but I will be talking to Bram Weinstein, the voice of the Washington Commanders. On Tuesday, he's going to be at that OTA session, and I'll get his thoughts on what he saw. And then we'll talk about some other things going on. It's the first look at quarterback Carson Wentz in a Washington uniform. Whatever you think of him, he's now the guy they need to have, who they need to have a good year from in order to take the step that they need to take in order to contend. That was an awkward, ugly sentence, so I apologize, but you get the point. It'll be interesting to see also who isn't there. What kind of attendance is there? I know it's voluntary, but these coaches have bemoaned player absences from a year ago and have spelled out why they think it's important for guys to attend. So it's certainly a mandatory voluntary kind of situation. For a player, they're getting less time on the field in preseason games, especially starters. So it makes sense for coaches to want them to show up in the spring so they have a chance to go over everything. Now, again, it's not mandatory. It's a voluntary situation. So if they do choose to skip, hey, they're allowed to do that. But there's no doubt that these coaches, no matter what they say, would want everybody there. But it's a lot more fun to talk about what's on the field and how it might look in the fall. This will be the first time for the media to get a look. And we'll have at least four more sessions open to the media, one each week with the OTAs. And then we're going to get the mini camp the week of June 14th. Right now, they have 3 scheduled mini camp sessions. Oftentimes, they cut it to 2. So this could be one of 5 open practices for the spring. Speaking of the field, Doc Walker says it's time to prove it to him, folks. So after this break, I'll be back with an impassioned Doc Walker as we discuss the state of the Washington franchise and expectations surrounding the team.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. There are some monthly expenses you just can't get away from, like insurance. You might be looking at your expenses thinking you're going to have to pause on your DIY project, stop collecting vinyl, or even give up your daily coffee fix to have great insurance. Talk about a nightmare. It's a good thing State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they have a range of options, like insuring your ride and your home with surprisingly great rates on both. With State Farm, you can also personalize your policy, so you get the coverage you need at a price that lets you keep up with your projects, add to your vinyl collection, and continue to enjoy your coffee habits. So forget about giving up what you love to have great insurance. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Ah, Portugal. There's so much to do, but so little I feel like I have to do when we are here. Talk about a foreign feeling. When we are back from vacation, let's make sure we are still on track with our investment plans. Just in case we want to retire here.
With Vanguard advice, no matter what your retirement goals are, we can help you get there. That's the value of ownership. Visit Vanguard.com and explore Vanguard advice. All investing is subject to risk. Fund shareholders own the funds that own Vanguard. Services are provided by Vanguard Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor.
Welcome back. Now here's my conversation with former Washington tight end Rick Doc Walker. Doc, it is always good to see you and to talk to you, one of my favorite things to do. But before we get into talking about the Commanders and burgundy and gold and all that, let people know what you're doing now, where they can find you. I know you got your podcast. Let them know.
Yeah, on Patreon and patreon.com/Doc Walker. Very simple. I'm one of 3 million other people. I mean, it's no big thing. Yeah, I'm just following your lead and waiting to get the Keimster. When I got you and I'm on your show, I hear about it. People go, oh, so there you are. So my deal now is how can I get on with the John Keim format even more? That's all I got to do now.
Well, that check you sent certainly helps. So I appreciate that. But it's always great to talk to you. So one thing I'm curious initially is, have you gotten used to Commanders yet?
I'm getting better. I pause. By nature, I just pause. Every time I go to Washington, Commanders.
And I do the same thing.
I just, it's not like I'm saying a bad word. It's a word I'm not accustomed to. The whole team deal, until I see them in the opener. The preseason will work. I just need to see them in the uniform.
Right.
They had the mannequin, and that don't work for me. I need to see human being in that uniform together, and then it'll be instantly for me. I mean, every franchise that has changed, Wizard, I love the Bullets. I still do. I just think Wizards is one of the worst things you could have ever done. But I still support it because it becomes the people in the uniform, not the uniform.
Well, and to that point, I grew up in Cleveland, as you know. I'm an Indians fan. They're now the Guardians. And I know a lot of people had an issue with that in the offseason. Yeah, but I'm watching the games because it still says Cleveland on it. And you're right. Like I'm not watching the quote unquote Guardians. I'm watching Jose Ramirez. I'm watching, Owen Miller. I'm watching Shane Bieber. So I do think it matters. Once you start watching the games, the name becomes secondary in a lot of ways. I know that the memories and all that, I get all that. I mean, to 1,000,000%, I get all that. But once I started watching the games, it becomes more about the players themselves and the fact that it still says Cleveland on it. So, we'll see how it happens here. But the other thing is, like, Washington is really changing the look too. Cleveland, the Indians, the Guardians did not change their look necessarily. And I don't know if that makes it easier or not, where it's like, it's not this like, oh my God. Whereas I think with this team, but I think for some people it may look pretty good, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm numb to it because I've never cared about anything other than the scoreboard. Right. I just want to win. And I don't care if they were called the Elephants and they were wearing pink and green. I'm exhausted. I have no more patience. I've been played. I feel like from a consumer standpoint, and you don't have to stay with the team. You don't have to keep following the team. You do that by choice. Nobody's forcing you to do this.
Right.
I'm following the John Allen, the guys that I have connected with as when you work around it, you're around them.
Right.
I was on that sideline by that D line. I mean, those guys, they like allow me in to their world because I'm working right there all during the game. Right. So you're hearing every moment, and they know they're not going to be betrayed. I heard all kind of things. That's their thing, and I got that respect from them because the stuff I heard, the things is amazing. But then when you're separated from that environment, it's got to be like the beat guy at the old newspaper or whatever, the guy who told all the story.
Right.
You never know what happens to him when he's not there. And so now do they change the name? Then they change the color. Everything's evolving. I just go, you know what? It becomes about the guys in the uniform for me.
Right.
I'm saddened. Haskins lost. That's a humanity. That's a loss. That's somebody that I felt like could have been saved. Yeah. I feel partly responsible for not getting the job done as a member of a community. We got to gear our young people and help them. It's like a maturation thing. We've all been young and dumb. We survived it. Okay.
Yep.
But it was because of vets and about neighbors. It's about a community thing with it. Twitter, everybody hates everything now.
Yeah.
It's and everybody's schedule. And then the hype of the NFL. Man, they're so good. They got, even the NBA had me watching the lottery pick. I go, why am I watching this? I know the Wizards, because there's a 3% chance that the Wizards could get, and that's because I'm a junkie. So I'm sitting here embarrassed watching this. I go, man, they got me. I'm all in. And I want to see some success. I'm the guy that you can no longer sell any product to because I'm now so bitter over not winning.
Right.
I want a playoff game. I want to win a playoff game. I saw the Rams. I saw Sean. I've seen people that were here, and now they're winning, and they're getting rings, and they're winning. And that to me, I'm going, how long am I going to just settle for this? I'm never settling for it. So That's where I'm at. I don't say, oh, I don't like you. I'm not going to follow you. No, I love you. And I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. And I'm going to demand that you succeed.
Oh, listen, that's the only way it should be, right? Because That's if you want to build a certain type of team, it only comes from those level of expectations. I mean, listen, you're USC, I'm Ohio State. Like they achieve those levels because there is that sort of expectation and pressure by a community. And it's, so at some point you've got to do it or you're not. And do you think that this team, when you look at this team right now, the way that what they've done in the offseason, are you encouraged or what do you think?
Well, I'm numb because, again, I'm the guy, once you've been burned over and over, I go, all that matters to me is beating Jacksonville.
Right.
And so are they moving closer to that? Yeah, I believe they are. But college draft to me is an appreciation for what you did. It has nothing to tell me what you're going to do.
Right.
Because I can't anticipate you were eating out of a dorm, you were in an apartment, you were driving a 65 Chevy, now all of a sudden you're pulling up in a Bentley and your bank account is swole. Now, how do I know that you're going to do what you did to get that once you get? We've seen this happen here.
Time and time
because
again.
they slobber all over people before they produce. I'm done with that.
Yeah, no.
Right now, I'm not hating, but I'm not praising either. Carson Wentz is on the clock with me.
Oh, yeah.
Not about his skills. He got talent. Neck up. I got to find out, is he going to grow up and be a leader of men and win? Okay, I don't know that. So I got to wait and see. Now, suppose he gets hurt in the first quarter. Who's going in? What happened to Heineke ain't his fault. As a matter of fact, he did a hell of a job under the circumstances.
He did.
But I'm not planning on that. I'm planning on being better. So that's up to the people that they chose to run it and produce. Or are you just getting paid for going through the motions? That's their decision, not mine. But what I am expecting is to win. I've seen it done. I was a part of it being done. And I'm not falling for no okie doke. I want results. And I demand it. But I got your support. You got my support. 100% support. But I don't care about the hype. I want to see you have a full contact, something, before you play a real game. That's your choice, how you do it. They don't want to scrimmage, but show me what you're going to do to improve ability to tackle once this becomes real.
That is, I agree 1,000%. And, I feel bad for the fans here because a lot of times they've been sold that, hey, this year is different. And then it's not. So what little things, when you look over the years, whether it's this regime or other ones, what little things do you not see that add up to that lack of success?
Well, again, you can't speak looking outside a house to find out what's going on in the house. So I don't have X-ray vision. So if I don't see you practice, I can't answer that. All I can judge them by is the results. That's not my job to evaluate that. That's your job. That's what you do for a living. You're a beat guy. You're there every day, and that's great. I missed that. I don't have access to that. So all I can do is see the results. What I know is that whatever you've done in the past, you should consider scrapping it. You should consider altering it because it hasn't produced the results that I'm interested in. If you're cool with being mediocre and being 500, then hey, if they'll keep paying you for that, why wouldn't you keep getting it? Doesn't fit my criteria. We don't get to 10 or 11 wins. To me, there's a problem.
Yeah.
We either had severe injuries or you blew it. But I'm not settling for under 500. I'm done. I'm saying, okay, you wanted access. We got access. You went out and you overpaid for a guy that may end up paying off for you. But if not, I'm not forgetting the fact that you telegraphed your thing. You didn't have to run around telling people what you were going to do. Just do it. Because once you tell everybody something, you were pressured into making a move because you ran your mouth. See? And so now it may work. But if it doesn't, you strapped yourself. To me, that's not the kind of move I'm expecting out of a, quote, experienced group. Make me scratch my head. Maybe they're right. So we don't know. Only time will tell. So in the meantime, hey, I'm your biggest supporter. I'm supportive of it. But beware, okay? You can't sell me again on another campaign. I want to know what we got, what you're going to do. The draft, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be fine with it? You got a kid I know is fast. He can catch. We drafted guys here in the first round that couldn't catch, okay? You know it, and I know it.
Yep.
We've had receivers here that couldn't catch, okay?
50-50.
Yeah. Great evaluation. Love the way you use your scouts. So all I'm saying is that, man, I ain't that guy. You can't do that to me anymore. You got to produce. And so training camp, if they don't scrimmage, I'm not going to be happy. If they don't play people in the preseason that are young and have never played in the NFL, I'm not going to be happy. But if they win the first game against Jacksonville, doing it their way,
right. Well, listen, like that's always the proof is what happens in the fall. Whatever you do, like for example, the Rams a few years ago stopped playing their starters in the preseason. Yeah. Well, they go out and win. So it worked for them. Yeah. Other teams that did not work for, and I felt like here that they wouldn't play their guys preseason, but they didn't learn enough about them until 4 games into the regular season when changes started to be made. So how do you get that information before the regular season? By the way, I owe you an apology because I think I accidentally said USC for you. And that would be like,
I didn't respond to it because.
Well, it would be like if you had said, John.
No. Now, again, when a Buckeye makes a mistake, I kind of expect it. It's not like the amazing blue guy. If you were Wolverine, that I would have said, oh, but I go, okay.
Well, look, I'm still stung by those UCLA Rose Bowl wins over Ohio State in the 70s. You know, that I felt cheated out of a national title back when I was a tiny kid.
You had a shot. You showed up, 26-10, final score. Hey, great guys on that team. You guys have a hell of a team. Matter of fact, you were undefeated. You had a hell of a team.
I'm still bitter.
If you don't finish, then you end up like our program here.
Right.
Look, the band is coming back. I'm happy about all that. You can't get that. Look, I'm sorry. I'm a bad interview because I can't help you fill a 3-hour block with garbage. You know, everybody, blah, blah. What do you think? Who cares? All I care about is the results. You can't sell me now on your process because your process has failed. I've never seen the process work. So what I'm looking now for is flat out results.
Yeah.
And I think a sense of urgency that if I were in a position of power, I would request that the young men understood what I meant by it. And that was get me results. Any means possible.
Right. And to that point, now I'm with you. Like, to me, this team has to win, I would say 10 games. And if you
minimum.
go 9-8, I think is like, it's all right.
No, I'm not
wins,
doing that.
I'm with you. 10 wins and
that.
10 wins and a playoff win.
Playoff victory.
Yeah.
We got to take another step.
Yeah.
We got to take another step. I mean, look, I'm happy. I wish somebody would pay me not to produce. That's a great deal. I ain't mad. You know, all I'm saying is that I'm not the guy to ask, well, what do you think about the 6th pick? I love it. I love our middle round picks because they're usually our best players. And Chase Rouillet is a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
You know, if I look at my best safety, see, we're really good in the middle rounds. Okay, we're not too good up top. Our second round
hit up top.
Should be boiled. So what I'm saying is that if that's a trend, is anybody ever going to inquire about it? Make sure are we going? So okay, maybe we're done. We got Marty, we got Martin, we got all. Okay, good. I like what they brought in. They brought in guys. To me, the only question mark is the quarterback because of the system he ran. Carolina's not responsible for feeding the NFL. They're trying to win college games, and McNamara, they've done a hell of a good job at that. Kid's got a little game in him that reminds me of Joe T. I like a guy that knows some people have doubted him.
Right.
And now he's got to learn the system. But suppose, like Heineke's thrown in week 1 because Fitz gets hurt. It's not his fault. I'm hoping this kid gets to mature. I hope they can kind of base him like you would a good steak for a year or so. I like that pick. But we're in a winning business. So maybe he got to play in the second quarter of week 1. So that's up to coach Turner, who I respect, and I know that he's been a little bit hamstrung by his personnel. But now, man, we got a real running back. We're not converting. We're not got a project. We got a real Stephen Davis type downhill runner. I love that. I love. Don't fumble either. Not a fumbler.
I like Robinson. Like, I like him because he does a good job creating good situations for himself with vision, with patience. He's not an explosive guy, but there were a couple runs he had in games where I'm like, he created that by whether it's his forward lean, whether it's the setting guy up and creating arm tackles with a cutback. And that's how you move the chains. And I think he and the combination, if he had Gibson, but here's the thing, like, you've got to use that combination, right? And I think they have a chance to have a really good run game because of those two, if the line produces the way it needs to.
When is it not? On the That's
always that way.
They've always, that's my point.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time. Driving around town, people going, I go, no, your ifs should be going on everything behind the line.
Right.
That's where your ifs come in. The ifs are not up front. The ifs are behind it. If he holds on to the ball, if he can do, if he's
he makes the right read.
If he goes, got the big boys up front, they've been doing their job. So give them some credit and support them with it. And they need that by the quarterback. All they need is a guy that can get them out of the. You can't play 8 in the box with a guy that can hit you over the top. You played us in the past. Only a moron wouldn't have put 8 in the box against us and dared us to throw. Because if our wide receiver is not a contortionist, then, the guy is twisting. He's making miraculous catches instead of just going out and catching the ball and scoring. So now they can hopefully solve that. And maybe if the kid gets hurt day one, maybe Heineke has improved or will get rid of the ball quicker or will be a little bit more like Drew Brees and find those windows.
Right.
Because he can't see over the line.
Right.
That's everything. He wants to do it. He's capable of doing it. I love his moxie.
Me too.
But his record, it's not good enough. I cannot be boxed into that. And woulda, shoulda, coulda. Well, look what the kid in the Raiders corner could catch. This thing would have been over earlier than it was. We had 1 month, November, that we played our style of football. That was what it went. How'd that go? Special teams. We got a big play here, big play there. Well, that guy's gone. So hopefully the kid from Penn State can help us. Return guy. We got to generate scoring outside of offense. We got to do all the little things. Joe Gibbs, 101. We got to win on teams first.
Right. Well, and I think that's what I was going to ask you too, because and I know like sometimes people get tired of, well, back in my day, but the bottom line is you played on great teams. What are some of the little things that separate a great, because like, it's not like you guys always had this, like the unbelievable talent. So what separates, there you go. And you guys beat them, but what separates that team from one that maybe gets, you know what I mean? Like what's the separator between, in terms, if you have teams that are somewhat even in talent, what's the separator?
Mike Nelms and Brian Mitchell. Those are separators. We win all the yardage games. Because we have better return yardage than you do. Then it's our kill guys. It's the Quentin Lowry's of the world. It's Greg Williams. It's Otis Wansley. It's Scrappy. It's guys covering kicks and making people fair catch. All those things add up. We win the field position deal. We force turnovers and we don't turn it over. I haven't mentioned one thing about skill other than what the return guys have. Mark Mosley, the league MVP. We don't miss field goals. He's human, but overall, we're going to make way more than you do. See, and then we're going to block some. It's all the little things that aren't glamorous. You can't market. You know what I mean? You don't need a Madison Avenue sales team to market our deal because it was boring. It's it was not something you could market. Yeah, Hogs ended up being marketed, but don't forget we also had the Pearl Harbor crew. All right. So we got a crew that is marketing that because they had to try to throw because they couldn't run. You're number one versus the run. You also got JR. You got Big Country. We pound the rock. It ain't sexy, but it is effective. We have control of the clock. We win the possession. All the boring little things that you hardly ever hear anymore.
Football to me is such a nuanced game. Like, for example, this is why there's 2 draft picks I like for exactly the reasons you state. One is Fedarian Mathis.
Louisiana.
Yeah, and the Louisiana kid. Thank you. I love that kid.
I knew it.
Because like, here's why. And I told him at the rookie minicamp, I said, I don't know how many guys I've seen where half of your highlights, and I mean this as a compliment, are on kick coverage or punt coverage.
Hallelujah.
That's where, so like, I'm with you. And I know that, and I was talking to somebody about this, Sean Taylor played special teams because he wanted to set a tone. And I brought that up, like, a lot of these safeties talk about Sean, I want to emulate him, and then they don't play special teams. Now, as someone else pointed out, well, sometimes they don't, obviously you're not going to want all your starters out there, but that kid's going to be out there. Even if he's one of the 3 safeties rotating and playing a lot, he'll be out there because, first of all, he has a passion for it, and he can make a difference there. That kid wants to get down there and hit somebody, and he'll be fun to watch in that regard. So, yeah, but like, and I say Mathis, so like those are, Mathis I say because he'll do the dirty work up front that you're not going to see others do. Like you may not see the flashy sack, but if Cole Holcomb is getting to more ball carriers in a better position, it's
don't forget about Mayo too. I listen to you guys in your market. You never mentioned Mayo.
Oh, no.
I go, no. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mentioned him.
Look, I like jamming. It wasn't his fault. It's like, even in surgery, we've had surgeons operate on the wrong knee and the wrong hand. It has happened. I'm not making it up. Yeah. But when you are really good at something and somebody brings you to their family and they go, oh, no, you got to eat with your left hand. Well, hold it. Why? Well, we just want to try it. Okay. Right. Then say you're a bum because you can't. That ain't fair to him.
Right.
Okay. We got a guy on this team that's played middle linebacker. That's pretty damn good at it.
Well,
and
let me say this.
Places.
Yeah. And here's what I say, because the reason I brought up Mayo is that Eagles game was a distinct, his impact in that game was big. And it wasn't just because, it was because, first of all, I know that the talent for him, he's probably better as a backup. You need to upgrade that position. We get all that. But it's like I always tell people, you need somebody with his kind of traits who's maybe better. But what he added in that game was the knowledge. He knew how to beat the double teams, and Cole Holcomb played free. Now, ideally, you get that with Cole and Jamin Davis, but are they at the point yet where Cole, not just Cole can recognize, but he has to recognize, relay it to Jamin, and then go make the play himself. So that's a thing that you don't know, like, where are they at with it? But that is, so like Mayo, to me, that game was eye-opening because of what he added in that game. And again, I'm not saying that he should be the starter, but I felt like what he added is what they need at a higher level. I'm with you there.
Why couldn't he be the starter? Why couldn't he be? He'd be my starter. Because, see, I've got to win now. See, sense of urgency. I have to win now. And I have to beat Jacksonville. I got to beat the Jags. So whoever, my best 22 got to play. It's nothing personal. I don't care. I just want the best guys in there so I can win the game. Win the damn game. I don't care what round you're drafted in. I don't care how many commercials you currently have going. You either get your behind vaccinated, if you had to be vaccinated, you follow the rules, or you don't play. You wouldn't even be on my team. Okay. We got to man up. They're not playing for charity. Okay. This is pro ball. And I just wish that message would echo over there so we'd stop hearing these excuses and just really focus on results. We do that. I think we've got Shahid, the band is even coming back. So how can you not win at home with the Burgundy and Gold marching band?
I'll be glad to hear that. I've missed them the last 2 years. Even though, they don't have this wide range of music, but they add to the atmosphere, and I miss that.
Yeah. Well, you had a band. The one thing Ohio State you got to do have good. Your band is awesome. What have you done lately? All I'm asking is that, what have you done lately?
Well, listen, as an alumnus, I'm asking the same thing. So I'm with you. Like, it's funny because I have in my garage, I have a 2002 national championship thing. Like, they won in 02, they won in 14. It's like, they got to win again. Like, this is for the talent they have, for the program they have, you got to win again. So I'm with you on that. Like,
let me tell you what, the kid at Alabama was at Ohio State.
I know.
And if he don't get hurt, he's the number one guy. I'm going, they are loaded. I'm going, how'd you guys lose to Michigan?
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because they couldn't run the ball. They weren't physical enough up front. They had basically four tackles along the line. And like, you need to have guys with a certain mentality. They weren't physical enough up front, and I thought it hurt them. And like, they couldn't have a couple different styles of offense. I thought that was a big factor. I thought Hutchinson really did a nice job against them. That was a game that convinced you this kid can play. There was, and plus, like, even a blind squirrel, Doc. But listen, Michigan won that game. I'm not going to deny that. And as an Ohio State fan, it's like, okay, you've got to get better now. You can't just say, well, we're Ohio State, we'll come back next year. No, you've got to get better. And they have done so much self-introspection that's what you need to get better. That's a big thing.
That's why I'm here with Washington.
Are you willing to make changes to get to that point, whether it's changing philosophy, tweaking with how you do things? You can't assume improvement.
Well, okay, now, that's after just one time stubbing your toe.
Yeah.
We've stubbed ours now the last 22 years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. At some point, it's not a blame game. I'm exhausted. I don't have time for that. But I do think we have the personnel that you need if they'll play as a unit. They're not talented enough to freelance.
Right.
They have got to play. And I think you've heard the coaches kind of say it. I'm going, why on earth are you telling us that? Go tell them. Yeah. Well, I don't like coaches pandering to fans saying, no, dude, fix it and give me results. Don't kill the press conference. That's why I like Del Rio's press conference. 2 minutes. Yeah, I did go. Because there's nothing to talk about. We saw your body of your work. Tell us how you're going to get better at it and then say goodbye.
Jack doesn't give me a whole lot to work with.
I love Jack. Oh, God, I love Jack. I wish he was in charge. I wish he was the only guy that spoke. I really do. Because it is really what he's doing. He's telling you the truth. You just don't want to hear it.
Well, he also is not going to say a whole lot. And
he should.
And there are times where with him, it's like you can kind of read between the lines, which is what you have to do. But because a lot of times you can't read anywhere else because he doesn't give you a whole lot to work with. He's an old school linebacker who's like, and he was in the media. He knows what it's like.
Oh no, he gets it. He knows everything. Let me tell you what. He gets it. And I'm not sure I think he's a little bit of a porcupine, which I think I love that. But I think they embraced him. See, I thought he had to go through a thing with his group.
Yeah.
And he won them over. I think he won them over. And I really do believe that then there was may have been a disconnect, but only because some of the guys weren't there. Just look how much better they got when they lost their quote assets.
You know why? Because they had to adjust. Team. They had to team, and they also had to adjust. I think the coaching had to adjust. They started going more zone with secondary, and they also applied more pressure on third downs after that. And so they were relying too much on guys to do things to win their battles. And, I think they did a better job creating, but you also had guys do your job. There's a reason why that phrase works in the NFL.
Setting the edge.
Yeah.
Setting the edge. Williams. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what, man.
I like him.
Even when the cats come back. See, and again, I'm not a coach, but I damn sure can just put you in on third down. I can make you the designated pass rushers. See, I can have you butt off the field on first down. Because if you don't do it my way, you don't play. It's just that simple. Because I can't win with you. So why in the world would I be kissing your behind and you've given me no results? That's what I saw out of that team in November. It was a beautiful thing. We got one clown don't want to play a position. You put him down to quote Buffalo nickel, all of a sudden, wow, we look like the 85 Bears. but nobody's comfortable with their role. Well, I do what? I cut your ass. Now let's find out how comfortable you are after June 1. Okay, now you have no suitors. You comfortable now? See, I'm just saying, I don't have patience for crap unless you're winning. You know, I'm the best guy in the world. We're 14-2. Oh, we can talk, have fun. No, not under 500. Getting your ass kicked every other way. I'm not having it.
Doc, this is why I love talking to you. It's awesome. And I think you're speaking for a fan base where it's like they're saying this. I can't tell you how many. I can't hear it right now because it'll be played later. But the number of amens and preach were probably off the charts listening to you. So
well, no, but I don't want. But I'm not. But a lot of fans I'm disappointed in, and a lot of them I fired them because they're quitters. They quit on the team. I'm not quitting. You're quitting my voice.
You just want you want results.
No, and I support the hell out of them.
Right.
Okay. They don't even let me in the bill. I'll support you. I want to win despite you, is what I'm telling you. Because you ain't shown me nothing yet. And I'm just waiting to see it. I heard a lot about it. And so I'm just waiting to see the results. And so, yeah, I'm all in for them. But I like these kids. I like this draft. But you know me, I'm an undrafted free agent guy.
I know.
I can't wait. Oofers. Because those are the guys that have shown me that's the best results they usually bring us. And why is that? Because you got guys in there that are hungry.
Well, that makes
not running around trying to figure out what color their Bentley's going to be.
Right.
They're figuring out what they're checking out at the end, by the little end. It's just a mindset that we've gotten away from. We used to be a blue collar approach to it. Then we went that Park Avenue crap, and we've never recovered.
Right.
And all I'm saying is that just show up and fight as Joe would say, fight your guts out. And chances are we'll win.
There you go. Doc, you're the best. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, John. I really appreciate it. And have you had Kevin on this week?
No.
Good. Then I feel in a special space. You tell him I said that. All right.
I will do that. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Buckeye. All right.
This episode is brought to you by Clutter. Face it, your friends don't want to help you move. That's why you need Clutter. Clutter is a one-stop shop for moving, storage, and packing. Their licensed movers will pack your items with care, transport them safely, and move them into your new home. All you have to do is book online and relax. Simple, right? Visit clutter.com/Spotify moving and get $50 off with the promo code Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Cheetos Deja Tu Huella. Deja Tu Huella means leave your mark, and that's exactly what Latinos are doing all across the country. They're rewriting the rules and pushing the boundaries in their communities to leave their own unique mark. They use their gift, their superpoder, to make an impact, whether it's through art, music, fashion, food, or something else. And Cheetos will celebrate what they're doing by shining a light on their transformative power. The Deja Tu Huella program celebrates those leaving their mark in Latino communities. You can also celebrate by checking out the new podcast, Batman Unburied, on Spotify. Batman Unburied is presented by Cheetos Deja Tu Huella. Visit Batman Unburied on Spotify to learn more.
That's it for this episode. Thanks to Doc for joining me, and thank you, as always, for listening. I'll be back Tuesday night with a first look at what happened in the OTA session. Graham Weinstein will tell you how it was from his vantage point, what he saw, and you'll get some good information. Talk to you next time.